and good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Today we are very, very pleased to be joined. Actually, Tuesday, March 11th. Today's Tuesday, March 11th. I had to be reminded what the date was there. This morning we're very pleased to be joined by Reverend Tyler Ingram, Associate Pastor of Music and Worship, as well as Tony Childers, musical accompanist, trying to figure out how to say that word, from First Baptist Church.
Community First United Methodist.
Yes, that's it. My apologies. Okay. And today we're talking about the third annual Carrollton Choral Festival, the special Robert Ray Gospel Mass, coming up this Thursday, March 13th at 7:30 p.m. at First Baptist Church. Yes, apologies on that mistake there. Why don't we start first with a little bit of a background on each of you? If we could, we'll start with Reverend Tyler Ingram.
Well, I've been in Carrollton at First Baptist Church for about 2.5 years now, originally a North Carolinian, but we have loved our West Georgia home since then. So I've, like I said, been at First Baptist Church. I lead music and worship, our choirs, ensembles, things like that for Sunday morning worship and everything in between. So it's been a great place to be.
Awesome. Well, let's throw it over to Tony Childers.
I am Tony Childers, and I've been in Carrollton, about 36 years now, and been involved in music the whole time. Prior to my work with Community First United Methodist, we were at First United Methodist Church of Carrollton for 35 years, where I served as organist and then retired as music director a couple of years ago. Was also a school principal here in Carroll County at Mount Zion Elementary and then at Central Elementary. So I've had quite the experience here in Carroll County.
I'm telling you. I mean, I imagine how many families you must know. I mean, if you think about it through your tenure as a principal.
Yeah, we cannot go to Walmart.
No, the Walmart deliveries are coming in hot. You have to.
I'll rephrase that just to clarify. We cannot go to Walmart without being recognized.
Oh yeah. 20-minute stop becomes 2 hours. But it's always a pleasure to catch up with folks in the community. Yeah, it's this is the third annual Carrollton Choral Festival. They just get bigger and better every year. We were unable to have you on last year due to the influx of political candidates that were coming through at the time. If we could, let's get a bit of the story. Tony Childers, you've been on the program with us before to sort of talk about this event. Could you speak a bit on the impetus of this event?
Yes, I can. Way back a couple of years ago, when I found out that Tyler was new, I invited him to have lunch with me, and one of the topics that we talked about that day was the possibility of the downtown churches combining and doing some sort of special musical event. And that conversation blossomed into conversations with some other directors of downtown churches and the choral director at the university. And we met, we put together a program, and voila, we had a thing that turned into an annual event, a good combination of our church choirs and the university choral program, and it's been a fun experience for the last 3 years to do that.
Awesome. Well, let's talk a bit about last year's event. Kind of give folks an idea of how it all kind of turned out.
Okay. Tyler, you're going to have to help me with the exact title of what we performed last year, but we put together a classical program that included not only the combined choir singing, but also a program from the university choirs. What was it that we presented?
Yeah, the festival choir last year presented the Fares Requiem, which is a very well-known major work in the choral music world. We had a small orchestration as well, violin and cello. And so it was just a really special work, not only for the college students to be exposed to something of that magnitude so early in their lives, but also for our church choirs. All of us are not necessarily able to do a work like that on our own. So to be able to join forces and celebrate this major work of that has been well known its entire since its inception, that work is just phenomenal. And so that was just such a special experience for all of us, the professional singers of collegiate level, future music educators, as well as just our regular volunteer singers. So that was a really, really neat experience for our second year.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me of what we performed last year, because that goes back to another conversation that Karen Graffius and I had. Karen's the choral director at the university, and she's involved with our presentation this year as well. But Karen and I had a conversation that she really wanted the platform to be able to do that Fauré Requiem, and it worked out that was the selection last year.
That's excellent, and I could never have remembered that. So kudos to your memory there. That's tremendous. But a legendary piece with a memorable experience for all involved. So when this first originally started 3 years ago, was it a partnership owned specifically between First Baptist and Community First United Methodist, or were there other churches involved? Has that list grown over the years?
The list has grown a little bit, but Community First hadn't begun yet. That was while I was still at Carrollton First United Methodist Church. So we kind of stuck with the downtown churches. So that included Carrollton Presbyterian, Carrollton First United Methodist, First Baptist, St. Margaret's Episcopal Church. Mm-hmm. Those core groups are still involved, and it expanded to include Community First United Methodist once we formed a congregation and had a choir going. And then we've also had a couple of people interested from outside of those churches who have joined in to sing as well.
Excellent. Time is 8:37. We're going to go ahead and knock out our first commercial break. But when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Reverend Tyler Ingram, Associate Pastor of Music and Worship at First Baptist Church, and Tony Childers, musical accompanist with Community First United Methodist, as we discuss the third annual Carrollton Choral Festival and Robert Ray Gospel Mass coming up this Thursday, March 13th at 7:30 p.m. at First Baptist Church. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
The World Language Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined, curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in biliteracy fields of study. The successful completion of this journey provides colleges with a method to recognize a rigorous foreign language immersion experience for all students at Oak Mountain Academy. I'm Patrick Duran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Consider the Mobius strip. Take a strip of paper, twist it, connect the ends. This connection forms a continuous loop. Seamless, infinite. That's how your healthcare should be too. At Tanner Health, the Mobius is our symbol and our promise, representing our continuum of care and our commitment that the services you need will be here for you always. We're not just changing healthcare, we're redefining it. See more at tanner.org.
And we're back to Community Voice. Today's Tuesday, March 10th. I'm your host, Josh Engel. Just a quick reminder, this morning's conversation with Reverend Tyler Ingram, Associate Pastor of Music and Worship at First Baptist Church, and Tony Childers, musical accompanist, Community First United Methodist, as we discuss the upcoming third annual Carrollton Choral Festival, the Robert Ray Gospel Mass, coming up this Thursday, is currently being live streamed on our WLBB News Talk 1330 Facebook page. So if you have any questions, comments, kudos for our guests, please feel free to hop in the chat, and I'd be happy to read those out to them. Well, now we're at the moment of truth. We get to talk about the event itself. This is a 3-year project that has only continued to grow. More churches have become involved and are now partnering on this, realizing an idea that Tony Childers here had some time back, to have this excellent musical experience. So the upcoming this Thursday, March 13th at 7:30 p.m., it's the Carrollton Choral Festival and Robert Ray Gospel Mass. Let's talk about this year's event.
Well, we first began this process back in August or September. We all got together at the new Humanities building at West Georgia. Dr. Karen Graffius hosted us there, and we put our heads together and thought, what could we do? Let's build off the energy we have from this great work. And we decided to go with something a little different. So we got away from the Latin text, although this is still a Latin Mass in its content. We decided to bring out the gospel style. So this work is just an incredible work by the wonderful composer Robert Ray. It was actually written in 1981. So the fact that it's almost 50 years old and choirs are still actively singing this and performing this, I mean, is just an incredible testament of his skill as a composer and writer, because it's such a great work. I had the experience of singing one of these movements as a high schooler, and it was one of those musical highs for me, and so I've remembered that. And so I'm blessed this year that I get to direct this festival choir and combined group with the whole work together. It's just going to be a lot of fun. The college students have had a fun time. Our volunteer choir members have had a great time. In fact, all of these movements are not necessarily something we could do on our own, but the fact when we join forces together and present it are really going to be an awesome time. So that's something that's going to be great. On Thursday at 7:30, we've got a big dress rehearsal tonight, in fact.
Yes, yeah.
So we're getting ready to bring everybody in and be ready. Our instrumentalists are coming in to practice early, and we're gonna make it happen.
I'm glad you mentioned. Oh, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I was going to start talking about the instrumentalists, and the foundation for the accompaniment here is sort of like a jazz combo: piano, bass, and drums. So we're excited about that change from the rich classical style that we've tried to implement in the last couple of years to this gospel style this year, and it's really got some lively music to perk us all up as we're singing. But Doc Anderson is going to be the pianist for this program, and he is dynamite. He doesn't miss a beat, which is good because the director would get lost if he did. Sorry, I'm just
That's
picking
right.
on your time.
You're exactly right.
But Doc does a great job, and then we have the bass guitar and the drum kit along with it. So it's going to be fun Thursday night. We'll be rocking that First Baptist building.
Yeah, it's like the Brubeck or like that.
Similar, yes.
Yeah, something like that, you know.
And let me give a quick shout out to our other instrumentalist, Donjel Hurd Jr., who's a current University of West Georgia music student. It's going to be on the drums with us, just an incredible musician. And then on electric bass is Alex Ansaldo, a West Georgia graduate, but is currently the band director at Mount Zion Middle School, and is also a member at First Baptist. So I get to work with Alex all the time. We're excited to bring Donjel in, and Tony spoke to Doc's incredible musicianship, and I'm just going to start it and let them go, essentially, because they are such top quality, and it's going to be such a fun experience. Sounds I'm not sure if First Baptist has heard before, so it's going to be a really fun time.
No doubt. As soon as I hear electric bass, I get excited. I'm like, okay, now we're cooking. So,
Okay.
So that will be will it be the primary piece, or is it a pretty long piece that it can be broke up?
Yeah, the full work is about 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how many repeats you take. It's got some free form in it. It's got 6 different movements. All of these movements can be performed individually. I think this work is at its best, though, when it's performed in its full form. That's how Robert Ray wrote it, and it was designed as. But like I said, I've sung one of these movements before, and some other people have. But when it's at its strongest, it's when all 6 movements work together, and like around that 25-minute mark, go through all that Latin Mass text from the Kyrie, the Gloria, and ending with that Agnus Dei movement. It's just such a glorious experience. And the fact that it's the kind of Latin Mass format, but yet it's all in English, and it's in this modern gospel style, is just an incredible combination of old and new, traditional and modern. It's a beautiful combination of these styles that you don't get to see these days, especially in church music. Typically, churches kind of find their rhythm and who they are, and they just stay in that lane. And this is such a great example of just opening up the doors and say, y'all, come on. This is going to be something for everybody.
Some churches are like, look, it's Fannie J. Crosby or bust. I'm not doing anything else. We're only sticking to that.
And Fannie Crosby's great. I love Fannie Crosby.
Amazing.
But when you open up the doors even bigger, I just think you're opening yourselves up for an even more special experience, both spiritually and musically, especially for a concert, a community ecumenical experience like this.
Absolutely. And something like a mass is very unique for Protestant churches to get to take in and experience. Could we speak a bit at all, and no pressure if you don't have the stuff with you. I know you got a lot going on right now, but could you speak a bit to the messaging, the narrative of the piece, maybe a bit to some of the lyrical content and whatnot?
Absolutely. So in that kind of typical Latin Mass style, you start off with the Kyrie, which is asking Lord or Christ to have mercy on us. And then you'll go into the Gloria, offering glory to God in the highest. That's typically a text sung around Christmas time, preparing for the birth of Jesus during the Christian year. Then you go into the Credo, which means creed, the I believe in God, the Father Almighty, and so on and so forth. So really just a big statement. That's my favorite movement in this work on Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you won't want to miss that one. In this movement and in this work, it goes into the acclamation, which is just kind of a breath of fresh air, offering praise at acclamation. That's sometimes used differently. Following that, it goes into the Sanctus, which would mean holy. Kind of holy is the Lord God of hosts. This one's got a great solo by one of our local collegiate singers, and he's going to rock the house on this one. So that's going to be a really fun work in a different way. And then finally, it ends with the Agnus Dei, which means the Lamb of God. It kind of brings us back central. It kind of is a final reflective moment and ends with just this glorious amen that is just going to really fill your heart and soul at the conclusion of this piece.
So we speak a bit more about the choral group itself. Is it primarily First Baptist, or is it a culmination of all the churches combined?
Yeah,
I think it's truly a culmination with all of the churches, because there's about equal parts that make up this combined choir. We have a total of 21 or 22 singers this year, and 4 or 5 from each of the churches that have given their time, because we were doing Saturday rehearsals. Some people don't want to give up their Saturdays, and so the folks that did come, we've come up with 21 or 22, and then the university singers will join us. We'll have 40.
Yeah, around 40 to 45. I don't know the exact number.
Wow.
There was about 20 some of them, and I got to help fill in for Dr. Graffius at her rehearsal last week and work with those college students, and they had so much fun. It was the day after rehearsal. They were tired. Day after a concert, rather. They had worked hard and they were tired, and they stepped in, and it was a ball working on this with them. Their energy was there, the excitement was there, so they're going to step in and bring that energy that our community singers don't always get in our church choir. So it's just going to be a very special and unique combination of singers that's unmatched, I think, in our area.
Powerful combo. I mean, is this the first year that the university has participated, or is it all 3 years?
They've been with us all 3 years.
Oh, shout out to West Georgia. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really believe that this work as it sits as now would not happen without the university. We could pull something together with the church choirs, but bringing in those talented college students, it brings a lot of energy. You know, most of the time our choirs tend to be just a little older on average, and so to bring in those, 18 to 22-year-olds and their excitement, and of course they are incredibly gifted. A great music program here in Carrollton at West Georgia just makes the whole difference for our people and really, really pulls the program together. So without them, it'd be tough to pull off. So big shout out and thanks to Dr. Graffius in West Georgia on that.
So you have 6 movements in the Robert Ray Gospel Mass. Is it, as far as the choral group, is it broke up into 4 parts, or did you guys expand? Did any of the baritones or tenors or anybody have to split up? Like,
a little bit. It kind of goes back and forth. It's mostly 4 parts. In a couple places, there's some what we call divisi, which just mean parts divide. Sopranos do that a little bit. I think maybe the tenor basses do that at the end some. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, it's 4 parts, and so that helps us be balanced as well, because we can kind of pick and choose how many people are singing on which part, and so we know what to really listen for. And as a conductor, at least in my kind of early career, that helps me knowing what to listen for. There's 4 parts, and I'm listening for balance on just those 4. When you start to expand that out, it's very doable, but with only 1 rehearsal, really, we have a dress rehearsal tonight. It's the first time everybody will be singing. Wow. You only get 1 shot to really make sure balance sounds good and all the voices are even with the instruments. We have a great sound technician coming in to help, and so that helps. That it's mostly 4-part, and there's some incredible soloists I want to add in this work that come through multiple works. It's in that gospel style as well, so some of them have that experience and have grown up in that church style and worship style, so they are just going to, I use this phrase, they're going to bring us to church, so to speak, on Thursday night when they lean into those free solos and just kind of let those lines ebb and flow. They're just really gifted, and that brings the work together, too, to have those talented soloists lead us through those movements.
That is something I'm very curious about. The freer segments. It's kind of a looser jam, like you guys, it's like you guys can play with it. I think it's cool because there's not like a set time. I mean, it might go a little longer, it might go a little less, but it's just the freedom to just sort of get raptured up in the moment and just sort of let it happen, these musicians.
And that's part of the style that Robert Ray, of course, as an African-American composer, he wrote this in kind of the black gospel style, And it's obvious, I'm a white man, so I've got a different church experience. And so that's been a unique balance of honoring this tradition, but not trying to pretend that it's my own either. And so that's a great collaboration that I've really, enjoyed going along this, having people of different ethnicities and church styles and worship styles that we can grow together. So I'm not trying to pretend that I know all of this style, because I grew up with, what kind of white church, organ, piano type of style. And so conducting this has been a real honor for me to learn more about my friends and colleagues and who do this style, and just learn from them and grow together.
Excellent.
I can expound on one of the points by using another piece that Robert Ray wrote. Some choir folk may know of the tune called "He Never Failed Me." And near the end of that piece of music, Robert Ray does one of those repeats that Tyler was talking about, where the whole choir just kind of vamps, and the director may hold up a finger to indicate the altos sing it by themselves or the tenors sing it by themselves, but they keep singing over and over that short little snippet. He never failed me, he never failed me yet. He never failed me, he never failed me yet. And you keep adding layers to it until you've got full choir, and then the director holds up his hand like this. This is the last time, and slows down for the big finish, and the pianist just goes wild, glissando or
so
whatever
cool
else.
that layering in of those that it's all unique time signatures, or unique timing, and it all just sort of like stacks on top of each other to create this experience.
Yeah.
It's super cool. Wow. Well, this is your opportunity, listeners, to check this out. It's the third annual Carrollton Choral Festival, the Robert Ray Gospel Mass, coming up this Thursday, March 13th at 7:30 p.m. at First Baptist Church. We're going to go ahead and knock out our last commercial break, but when we come back, we'll wrap up our conversation with Reverend Tyler Ingram, Associate Pastor of Music and Worship at First Baptist Church, and Tony Childers, musical accompanist, Community First United Methodist, again, as we chat about the third annual Carrollton Choral Festival coming up this Thursday. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
The Entrepreneur Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in business and leadership. Critical areas include identifying entrepreneurial characteristics, selecting a value position, and business model development. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Consider the Mobius strip. Take a strip of paper, twist it, connect the ends. This connection forms a continuous loop. Seamless, infinite. That's how your healthcare should be too. At Tanner Health, the Mobius is our symbol and our promise, representing our continuum of care and our commitment that the services you need will be here for you always. We're not just changing healthcare, we're redefining it. See more at tanner.org.
Back to Community Voice. Today's Tuesday, March 10th. We are about to wrap up our conversation with Reverend Tyler Ingram, Associate Pastor of Music and Worship at First Baptist Church, as well as Tony Childers, musical accompanist at Community First United Methodist, as we chat about the upcoming third annual Carrollton Choral Festival. It's this week, ladies and gentlemen. Don't miss it. It's this Thursday. The third annual Carrollton Choral Festival and Robert Ray Gospel Mass. It's going to be Thursday at 7:30 p.m. at First Baptist Church. If you're just tuning in, be sure to check out the full podcast of this episode or the live stream that is still currently going down at the WLBB News Talk 1330 Facebook page. So if you have any last-minute questions or comments for our guests, please feel free to throw those in the chat. But before we wrap up, I definitely got to get some information about the space itself. We spoke a bit about the performers, about the arrangement, about expectations. Let's talk a bit about the space and parking and whatnot.
First Baptist has a beautiful sanctuary with stained glass windows, but it's a little tight with a big choir. So it's going to be a lot of fun for people to come and watch and see all 40 or 50 of us squeezed in our chancel area. But it's just going to be a great experience in that space. For those who are coming to the concert, you can park. Our building's a little unique, but you can park in two different areas. On South White Street is our main parking lot, and then we have a great relationship with Ray Lynn, which we share property with. You can park in their lot and come around on Dixie Street, that front, those beautiful white doors and kind of marble flooring. Those are the main front doors you can enter in to come to that concert. It starts at 7:30. There's no tickets. You don't have to reserve ahead of time. We're not taking up an offering or anything like that. This is simply our gift to the community to be able to share our gift of music to everyone. So I encourage you to get here early. West Georgia Chamber Singers are going to do a half concert first at 7:30 and then a slight intermission, and then we'll share in the gospel mass together.
Excellent. So there's plenty of parking. Shout out to Ray Lynn. We love Ray Lynn. They do a lot for the community. It's awesome that they, with your being neighbors, sharing that space so that folks can park. Well, let's say that someone's they're keen to take in this experience. They want to see the concert, but let's say maybe they caught that flu that's going around, or something worse. They're not feeling well. What if they're unable to come? Is there any chance that they would be able to tune in, like into a live stream or something?
Absolutely. We're very grateful to have some good technology at First Baptist Church, and we're bringing in a special sound technician. So we will be live streaming this event. It'll be both on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. And also we have a Facebook event for you Facebookers out there, so you can reserve and say, I'm coming. So we know you're coming. But if you can't be there, you can watch it again on our Facebook page or our YouTube page. Both will be live streamed beginning right at, if not a little before, 7:30 on Thursday night.
Wow, it's great to have that archive too, so folks can go back. Are the previous 2 years, are they live streamed as well?
Last year's is. In fact, I was watching it this week to remind myself how to get all the chairs set up and how the microphone's set up and everything. So last year's is still archived on our YouTube page, and this year's will be on our YouTube page for years to come as well. So it's great to have that ability to look back and listen again.
Excellent.
Unfortunately, the first event was not recorded and live streamed.
Well, you had to be there. I mean, that's how special it was. I mean, it was the first time. So, I mean, we only have about 3 minutes left. Tony, I would love, if we could, to maybe get some final thoughts on your end, having this, idea of being very much sort of culminating in your experience and your mind there. Can you speak a bit on to your feelings about seeing how it's grown up to this point?
As a longtime musician here in Carrollton, it's very gratifying to see this idea blossom, and now in its third year. Just by getting together with a couple of friends and saying, hey, this would be a fun thing to do, don't you think? And then lo and behold, yes, we do think this would be fun. Then we get together and we do it, and now it's this third year. That's great. I couldn't be happier.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Reverend Tyler Ingram, Associate Pastor of Music and Worship at First Baptist. If you could, one more time, give folks a quick rundown of what they can expect at the concert, and tell us where folks can learn more.
You can expect energy, excitement, and a unique musical experience you might not get anywhere else in Carrollton. So it's just going to be such a fun time. Absolutely. Again, our concert's going to be Thursday at 7:30. West Georgia Chamber Singers will start off the concert, and then we'll finish with the Robert Ray Gospel Mass following. We got a lot of parking, free tickets. You can watch us online, Facebook or YouTube, and we even have an event on Facebook where you can tell us you're coming to make sure we know your presence is here. And it's just a gift to the community that we're excited to share.
And those websites or social media, again, where folks can keep tabs on stuff?
Yeah, right at First Baptist Church Carrollton is both our Facebook and our YouTube tag. So just search that in. We do have a sister First Baptist Church in Carrollton, so be sure to know if you're coming. We're at 102 Dixie Street, but you'll be able to find our Facebook page or YouTube looking that up as well.
Excellent. Tyler Ingram, Tony Childers, thank you both for waking up bright and early and joining us on the program today. Very much looking forward to the show. And again, thank you guys for coming on and not only talking about it, but putting all the work and effort. Both y'all and the singers and the folks from the university, everybody that's participating, and to everyone who's tuning in at home. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.